Hello and welcome to Studio 731. Today, my guest is Chauncey Foxworth. He's a very good friend of mine. We've known each other about 5 years. He is number one middleweight in the United States outside of all major promotions. And we had a very good talk today, and I'm excited to let you listen to it. Enjoy. All right, so we've been recording now, but I just wanted to kind of flow into it.
Okay.
So,
Golly, that.
so
Okay.
yeah, so we're going. But again, don't.
It is Studio 731, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of changing the podcast name because
To what?
I don't know. I don't know. Tatum was trying to come up with a name with me,
He
and
was showing me things that he had.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Studio 731, is like well, he does the live stream, so I don't really want it to be the podcast name. But I mean, I know in the past that's what it was,
Uh-huh.
but I can't think of anything cool like your mom's house or Joe Rogan Experience or anything like that. So uh,
You don't think your name should be in it somewhere?
I thought about Zach York podcast, but that just seems real bland. I guess I could do. I don't know. I just want something that's catchy, but not
Zai
not
podcast? No, Zai. Or ZY.
yeah.
Maybe we could
Yeah,
figure something out.
yeah, I could figure something out. But for now, it'd probably just be, you know, Studio 731 or whatever.
Yorkers podcast. I don't know. Yorktown. I don't know.
Yorktown.
Anyway.
Yeah, Yorktown. No, I want to, even like I watch
York Place
the
Media.
other podcast and, I'm like, man, I don't want to copy anyone, but I like, I have ideas that well, kind of like, well, I mean, this is a very small table, but I like this kind of setup.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in the future, hopefully, I could have someone else doing this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I can just talk to you or whoever I have. But so the Joe Rogan long table, multiple cameras. I like that style.
Hey, look this up.
And
Camera
yeah,
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gotta
I
start
don't,
somewhere.
I don't like I like Theo's podcast, but I don't like sitting kind of back in a chair when I'm having a, like this kind of conversation. I want to be sitting up and
Mm-hmm.
more, I guess, alert, and I just, I'm kind of relaxed,
You
but
know, you know, one podcast you should watch. I don't know if you ever watched it. You ever seen I Am Athlete?
no.
I Am Athlete and the Pivot podcast. It's two different ones. They used to be together, but they got into it and separated. I Am Athlete and the Pivot podcast. Both of them are beautiful. It's like the NFL former players. Chad Ocho Singles on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brandon Marshall. A lot of them. But they man, it's like you'll love it.
Yeah.
Any athlete, they don't just do athletes. They do a lot of athletes, but not even just athletes. Like they did Dana White.
Really?
They interviewed Dana. Yeah, podcast Dana White.
Did you hear the Theo Vaughn interview with Dana White?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about this now, I was listening to that podcast, and he's got Slap now. The Slap contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know this, but he bought Nitro Circus, and I'm not sure what else, but I'm pretty sure it was Nitro Circus that he also bought, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
That's that freestyle motocross, and
Oh, that's what
yeah,
that is.
where they
I ain't
did the
know what that
skateboards and
was. Okay.
whatever. It's crazy. It's Travis Pastrana's show,
Okay.
and so and I was just listening to everything he was saying, and how Theo, that he did an interview with someone, and then a sponsor called him and said, "You got to take that interview down. We don't like it." And well, he didn't take the interview down. They just uh, cut him loose, And Dana was like, "Who was it?" And Theo, I get either he didn't know or he didn't want to tell him at first, but it come back and it was Peloton, bike company, and immediately Dana was like, "Who do we have in our gym?" Because it was in Las Vegas at the Apex Center. The interview was. He said, "Who do we have in our gym?" And they was like, "Peloton." He goes, "Throw them out. They're in the garbage today."
He said that right there on.
Right there.
What the hell Theo react?
Theo just kind of laughed like, "Man, you kind of empowered me." And I feel. He said, "Don't let anyone tell you how to run your show. It's your show."
Right.
You know. And so, anyways, so all right, going with all that. Just realizing kind of how it seems good of a business person Dana White is, a businessman. How he's brought the UFC to where it is. And then, and he said in his podcast, or in that podcast, that he does he's at the point now to where he don't have to do all the boring stuff that he don't want to do, like budgeting and all that. He gets to do the fun stuff, like look for fighters and look for the contender series or and all that. And in my head, when I was listening to that, I was like, how in the world do you look over the number one middleweight in the U.S.? So, respect to Dana on being the business person and bringing the UFC to where it has, or it is, but I don't understand that at all. Like, so.
I don't either, Zach. It's frustrating, just to be honest. It's frustrating, especially the amount of work and sacrifice that I put in. Like, people don't even know. Even the people that have seen me work hard, they don't even know.
Yeah.
It's times, man, where I'm literally, I exhaust myself to the point where I can't do nothing the next day. Yeah. I can't. And, like some people, like I've heard of, it was a weird thing I seen. Somebody talking about, they was doing cocaine. They said, if you're doing cocaine, then the next day you just got to accept that you ain't going to be able to do nothing the next day. It's literally how it is sometimes. Yeah. Like I'm literally in bed the next day, can't do nothing. And I've done this for years upon years, and I see these guys that are maybe on my level going here and all this and that. It used to bother me. It still, I ain't going to sit up and act like it don't bother me. Yeah. But I trust God, and I know as long as I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, God got me. It's going to work out. Yeah. Just for whatever reason it hasn't worked yet, it wasn't supposed to. And I could sit around like I used to at a younger age, would sit around and just complain, why this, why that, while time is still passing by. Mm-hmm. So all I can do is control what I can, and be ready. So when that opportunity comes, they don't forget me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing to me, and we've talked about this before, but I really feel like, because he's selling a show, is what he's doing. Mm-hmm. So, he's looking for Connor, like people that are loud and obnoxious and make themselves, bring attention to themselves, or spectacular finishes or whatever it is. I mean, he's looking for a crowd, a crowd pleaser. And now I know you're not the hey, look at me. Yeah. You're not bringing your attention to yourself. Mm-hmm. In saying that, and no disrespect to you.
You good? Say how you feel. You good?
As far as, I mean, your fights, they're fights, they're battles. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. It's because you're not padding your record. Mm-hmm. You're going after the toughest people. So they may not be, you're winning. They may not be just the most spectacular finishes, but you're not going to do that if you're picking the toughest people to fight. Right. I mean, if you're picking someone more towards your level, I mean, it's going to be a battle. And I've seen your battles, at least the ones in the cage. And, dude.
I'm going to say this. I ask anyone that watches this, to watch this podcast, watch this, what we're doing. I ask anybody to watch this, pause the video right now. Go on Google. Look at some of the top guys that fight. Mm-hmm. And then look me up. And you can go back and look at the guys that they fought in the past. Look at their records. Look at them. The guys that are on the come up, and then look at mine. I fought some of the toughest dudes. I go to Oklahoma, fight the number one guy in Oklahoma. I go to New Jersey, fight the number one guy in New Jersey. And a lot of times I came out on top. Not all the time, but most of the time I did. Mm-hmm. It's the reason why I'm ranked number one in the U.S. outside of any major promotion.
Mm.
So that you're right, that does play a role. Anyone could look spectacular when you're going against a scrub. You know,
Yeah.
there's some guys literally that have fought guys that are 0-8. You know,
Yeah.
but they're 7-0. Well, of course they're 7-0. They find somebody that's 0-8. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, even though, see, the thing is, the spectators, the people that watch this, they don't know all this. They don't know the ins and outs, and that's what frustrates me. But again, when that big chance comes, I'll be ready because I wasn't fighting these 0-0 guys. You know, I'll be ready. So it's gonna come. I know it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, you're definitely going to be more prepared.
Yeah.
Because you've been fighting the tough guys.
Yeah. And then when I get into when I've been on bigger promotions where the lights are big and people be like kind of scared, thousands of people in the crowd, I'm like, it's another fight.
Yeah.
You know, so I already know how it is. I know a lot of people when they walk down that UFC ramp. I've heard it a lot of times that they freak themselves out. They lose before they even walk in there. I'm just like,
yeah.
You know, let's go.
Yeah.
It's a fight.
Well, I've seen the switch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I've seen the switch. You know, we'll be in the back and just kind of goofing around, and you'll be lighthearted, and then it's not Chauncey anymore.
No,
it's the machine.
It's the machine. You're right about that.
When you step in that cage, when before you get to the cage, when you line up at that entry, and before you step out, it's a whole different man.
It is. It is, man. It's that guy that, like you said, and anyone that knows me, I'm just a cool, calm, I'm a peaceful guy.
Yeah.
I don't want no trouble, you know. Don't bring it to me, you know, because I ain't gonna back down.
Yeah.
But I'm just real cool. I'm a laid back type of guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's time, it's time. You know, and I look at it like, man, my life's on the line. You know.
Yeah.
He trying to kill me, so I got to get him first. I'm trying to rip his head off. They better have a good referee, because they don't, you know, they're gonna be picking up body parts of it. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why a lot of people would knock Conor, because how he would talk crazy and all the stuff he used to do. If that's what it takes for him to be the best him in the fight, do it by all means. So that's what it takes for me. I gotta kind of. That's when I say miskill to be killed. You gotta kill me. I mean that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not just saying it because it sounds good, like dang. But yeah, you gotta kill me.
Yeah.
Because man, when I'm doing this, when I'm fighting, I'm not doing it just for me. My son, that's 9 years old now. His future depends on it.
Yeah.
You know, there's been times, I've never really said this out loud, but I'll say it here. There's been times in fights where I'm like, man, if I don't win this fight, Elijah's not gonna have a good Christmas. If I don't win this fight, he might not have a birthday. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen. Literally. You know, so his future depends on this, and he ain't getting no younger. You know, his future depends on this. My mom's health depends on this. You know, my mom retired, but you know, still gotta work. You know, just to be honest, you know, her health isn't the best. I want to be able to, like, mama, you ain't gotta do nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want to be able to do. You know, and not only that, I got younger kids that may not have a father figure. They may not have a positive role model. They're looking at me, trying to see which way I'm gonna go, how am I gonna handle this, when am I gonna make it? You know, I want to be that inspiration for them. And again, I may be knocking myself or putting that all on my shoulders, but if I don't, who else? Who else will? You know, I don't want to put. You know, I'm okay. I'm built to take that on. I feel like God put me on this planet for that, and a lot of other things. But you know, it's gonna work out.
Oh yeah.
But it's frustrating, and honestly, it's motivating. It's motivating because these dudes ain't on my level, man. Just to be honest, they're not.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else I need to do. I've fought who I needed to fight. I've done it all, man. So it's just like, give me that chance. I'm not asking for anything else. Just put me in there. You can put the toughest guy in there. Put me in there. See what happens. Just see what happens. I'll take care of the rest. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Just put me in there and see what happens. I guarantee you it's not going to go the way. It's going to go the way it needs to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I seen, switching topics a little bit here, I seen some of your posts the other day. You're helping with a football program.
Yeah.
So, man,
Yeah.
just to have you, you know, seeing you do that as a friend, as your friend,
Yeah.
you know, dude, that's awesome. You know, to know that you're taking time out of your day, you know, away from training and all that, to go out there and inspire these kids. Dude, I like seeing that.
Appreciate it, man. I love it. That's, man, other than time with my son, that's the highlight of my day. My son, he's on the football team.
Okay.
And I'm not the head coach. I'm one of the assistants on the volunteer parent coach.
Yeah.
But I love it, man. I see these kids. They listen. You know, that's one thing we didn't have growing up in my community, High Spring. We didn't really have that growing up. As far as starting football at a young age, we didn't start till 7th grade. You know, but just I'm teaching them football,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm teaching them life lessons too. Like if you ever just sit back and listen to us talk, they know what accountability means. They give you an example of what that is, and they show it out there. You know, when one of the players are not doing what they're supposed to do, check yourself. You know, take responsibility for your actions. That's just what accountability is. Toughness, you know, being strong in the mind and the body at all times. You ask any of them, what's toughness mean? They'll sit there and tell you.
Yeah.
You know, because toughness ain't just about being physically. It starts here, kids. You know, and I didn't learn that until I had facial hair, which took forever. You know, but so teaching these kids this something at a young age, man, the sky is the limit. You know, and confidence. I mean, we go over a lot of things, and every now and then I add a new word. You know, I do that with my son, like all the words now. You know, since I've been doing it since he was little. But I think those little things are important, especially and for our children in general, especially for the young man.
Yeah.
Young man. Yeah.
Well, I know those kids that you're helping with out there. If they keep at it and they listen to what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know, good luck to whoever plays against them.
Golly, I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And beyond football, the things I'm trying to show them are things that I've learned the hard way. This ain't nothing that I just picked up a book and read. So these things that can follow them when they're grown men. You know, this is a beautiful thing. And some of them, and some of them, the mom and dad is in the picture. Some not. Regardless, it's not about that. It's just they're the future.
Yeah.
You know, and it's important.
Well, and the discipline.
Yes.
You know, that's why I'm so happy that Tatum and Scarlett are in kickboxing.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps us busy.
It does. Yeah.
Softball, baseball, kickboxing, all that stuff. But they're being disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not. You don't understand what I'm saying. Is they're learning that, hey, I've got to show up. I've got to do this in order to perform well.
Yeah.
And that is something you're teaching them.
Yeah.
And not only physically how to perform well, but to mentally prepare for it.
Yeah.
It's just like that switch I was talking about that I see in you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when your head is there.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like with my son, I asked him, when was it? I can't remember when. It wasn't too long ago. It was a few months back. I said, "What you want to be when you grow up, Elijah?" You know, of course he's not. You know, I want to be this, that may change. He's a Gemini. He changes mind all the time.
Yeah.
But I want to be in the NFL, Dad. I said, okay. I think you can. It's hard. It's not going to be easy. But as my job as a dad, I'm going to give you every opportunity to make that dream come true. All I need you to do is give it your all. That's all you got to do. So we actually, like 2 weeks ago, we went to Oklahoma City. We got like a quarterback trainer, Coach Manella. What's up, Coach? We'll be back down there soon. You know, he get down there, looking like a beast. You know, he's a quarterback. My son's a quarterback, and he a beast, man. But and I tell him that I always give him his praise, but I also always remind him we could always be better. Don't get satisfied and think we got it all.
Yeah.
We could always get better. We can always learn more. And even when practice, what's the most important? Of course, practice. But those extra workouts outside of that, think of it, like his favorite player is Justin Jefferson. He's the guy that did the gritty. Yeah. He the gritty. I can't even do it. How you do it?
Yeah.
But I showed him like videos of him. Son, he's not just practicing with the rest of the team. He's doing individual workouts. So Patrick Mahomes, look at him. He talking about individual workouts, his own one-on-ones, that he's doing, the extra work that nobody sees. So he's starting to, at first he'd be like, oh, Dad, this is all we got to do. I said, well, but I'm like, this is just what you want, right?
Yeah.
That don't start when you get on the field. It starts now.
Yeah.
So we starting to like, it's cool watching it too. Like, we're going to do a workout. Okay, let's go. Instead of at first he'd be like, oh, he won't be on the switch, watch YouTube all day. But no, now he's like, okay, because he knows what it takes now.
Yeah.
And eventually I want to get to the point to where, hey, Dad, let's go do this. Let's go do that. It's going to get there. I just, the kids, you got to take your time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, man, it's important. And, yeah, it's like you said, it tires us out. We tired. But that's what we signed up for.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that that I think about a lot with you is, things haven't worked out exactly the way you want them to,
Right.
but you're still chasing that dream.
Mm-hmm.
You're still chasing it.
Still chasing it.
I'm still chasing mine with this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this.
Salute to you too. Yeah.
It's not. This is a whole nother thing right here, from what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, finding people to talk to, then finding, well, what do I talk to them about? You know, but I don't want to give up because I don't want to see my kids.
Right.
Or I don't want my kids to see me give up.
They watch.
And I feel that's the same way with you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want your kids to give up on their dreams,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how crazy they sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll probably change as they get older.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll have one that they're absolutely sure of.
Yeah.
You know, and you know the way. I wouldn't say the way I was raised, but I don't even know how to say this. But I know I gave up on at least a couple of mine
Mm-hmm.
before I had kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as soon as I got out of high school, just was like,
Yeah.
let me go get a check.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I beat myself up for that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, like, man, why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a scene. I think it was from a movie, and the guy asked him, "So, how much did they first pay you to give up on your dreams?" And I was like, "You talk about hitting hard."
Yeah.
You know, especially now, I'm like, $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they paid me to give up on my dreams.
Was that worth it?
Yeah, not at all. You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I definitely want to instill in my kids, and I know you do yours.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're young, before you have a whole lot of responsibility and a whole lot of things to do. Not that you don't have responsibility, but before you got to provide for a family,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to go for it. You can take a lot more risk with a lot less repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like now, well, you and I both, we have to be real careful with we still take risk. We have to be a little more calculated about it.
Calculators, yeah.
You know,
We got others depending on us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and some of those, I wouldn't say things that they weren't necessarily dreams. They were really big hobbies, you know, but, you know,
Could have turned into something.
could have turned into something, but not that they necessarily would have paid or it would have been worth me keeping on going.
Mm-hmm.
Something I really enjoyed, but I was like, this is something that I can let go of,
Mm-hmm.
and be okay,
Yeah.
and still have stuff to chase.
Yeah.
You know, things to chase.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. A lot of things, like you said, that didn't work out in my career.
Mm.
And my son is at the age where, I don't know if I'm supposed to speak on this or not. It is what it is. Ultimate Fighter. I was this close from getting on it. I went through the whole process of everything I had to go through. Like, I can't go into detail everything that I had to do. But I had interviews and all that. Way other things I had to go through with, and I passed all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the nitty gritty, literally. And unfortunately, they didn't choose me. And the younger me, why me?
Yeah.
You know, and all this and that. But then, you know, when I found out, when I got the email that I did, I was like, okay, thank you, God. I thank God anyways.
Yeah.
For whatever reason I wasn't supposed to. But not, the thing I say that to say, my son seen that.
Mm-hmm.
We was actually in Oklahoma City at the, I was at the hotel. We were about to go to bed. We was laying in bed, about to go to bed. And I popped the email. Someone just said, check your emails. And it said, Chauncey, unfortunately, you didn't make it. They didn't give me a reason why. It just, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know? And I told him, man, I could tell. I felt it. I know he was watching me. Like, how he going to react to this? Okay, well, that when the God plans, kid, it's going to work out, though.
Yeah.
Let's say our prayers when we get to bed, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that was it. You know. Now, when he went to bed, you know, I dealt with things the way I need to deal with when I go crazy, beat up the hotel, and, you know, I cried a little bit, just to be honest, because, you know, I worked so hard. But at the end of the day, it was just like, it's going to work out, you know.
Yeah.
And, it's, you know, I'm glad that I say that to say I'm glad my son is able to see not just me making it, but the failures as well.
Yeah.
You know, he see Dad work his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And he see Dad been turned down so many times. Dad still work his ass off. So when I do finally make it, man, it's going to hit home. Like,
oh, yeah.
dang. Dad went through all that, but he never gave up. That's what you're talking about, never giving up. So
Yep.
It's going to work out, man. Anybody that listens to this, too, if you chasing a dream, it's gonna get hard. It's hard as hell because you're not taking the safer route. You're taking that path the path of what's the one path of least resistance? That's the path that most people take. The easy way. Just clocking in. All that. You're not knocking anybody to do that. We need people to do that. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Hey, I'm all for it. Support you. But those ones out there chasing a dream, doing something that the norm doesn't do, stay in it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Seek advice. People that are in that. Research. Be knowledgeable. Work your ass off, and keep the faith. I promise you, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a guy yesterday about this. There's some things that I was trying to get into in the last couple weeks,
Uh-huh.
and I want to say most of my life is always like a day late, dollar short kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I find out right at the end of a recruitment or anything like that, and in my head, like I'll pray about things,
Yeah.
and like really want it,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't. They think, oh, if I pray about it, God's going to give it to me. God's going to let me have it.
Right.
What they don't understand is no is an answer.
No is an answer.
Not yet. You're not ready. That's
Yeah.
an answer.
Yeah.
It's not. Yes is not the only answer.
Right. Right.
And so just like you're saying with things like that, for me, it's like, well, yeah, that's upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it now like, well, there's bigger or better plans.
Mm-hmm.
He's got another option for me that if I
Another
take this, that option's not available.
Right.
You know.
And that's the true thing. And the thing I like about this career of mine, when I first started, I was a boy. Legally I was a man, but I was a boy.
Yeah.
And I can see me now, just the rejections, the wins, the losses, all that balled up into a ball. I'm in love with the kind of man it made me, the character that I am, the type of person that I am. It changed me. Them no's take a toll on you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad the man that it made me made me, and so I can be happy because I gotta lead. We're men, we gotta lead. We're fathers, we gotta lead this young generation in the right way. So, we can always say, don't give up, don't give up. Everybody says that, but being that example, preaching it, are you practicing what you're preaching?
Yeah.
And that's important. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard to do. I mean, especially in this day where you're trying to chase things,
Mm-hmm.
and anytime you turn on computer, phone, anything, something's trying to be sold to you. Something's trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's okay to quit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's not for people like us.
No, it's not.
People that have a dream to chase.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum, he wants to, when he gets older, he wants to build robots and video games.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting career in my head.
Yeah.
I know he loves that kind of stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the video games, which is obvious. I mean, all kids love video games, but man, mechanically, I think he'd be really good with robots.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Scarlett now, she wants to be an artist. I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
What you mean, like
They don't pay too well, probably.
like painting and stuff?
And she's writing songs now.
What?
She just told me about this yesterday.
What?
She was singing them to me yesterday.
I gotta hear some before I leave. Okay.
So that was really cool, and I was like, don't quit. Continue. Write this stuff down.
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
What I think is beautiful about that is your kids are able to express that. A lot of people will be realistic,
Yes.
but they're able to they can dream wildly as they want to dream and feel comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Like I want to be an artist. That's beautiful. A lot of kids I know can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I was told be realistic quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a reason for that. And a lot of times I wonder. I've always wondered this, and I've always wanted to ask my dad this. So, Dad, here you go. If you watch this, if there's anything he regrets giving up, not for us, but that he just gave up. like
Yeah.
a dream that he wanted to follow or
Yeah.
whatever. And I guess, like I told you earlier, because I don't want my kids to.
Right.
I will help them as much as I can, as long as I can,
Yeah.
to help them follow their dreams.
Yeah.
And not realistic dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Their dreams, whatever they want.
Yeah.
I just, because that feeling of giving up, it don't go away.
Right.
Even if you've got a good life and you're happy, that to
Mm-hmm.
me, for me anyways, you never forget giving up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
it's painful.
See, one of my fears is like when it's time for me to go leave this earth, I look back on I don't want any regrets, but my biggest fear is that my son lives with any regrets.
Yeah,
I would hate that. I would hate that for myself, but especially if it's for him. You know,
yeah.
So that goes back to which, yes, we won't want our kids to feel like that. So we got to keep going for them.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay, so I got a question for you, because
Okay.
I've been struggling with this a lot lately.
Okay.
Just trying to provide for them,
Mhm.
and make sure the money's there for them to do
Mhm.
to do everything that they do.
Mhm.
Of course, Amelia as well. With her training.
Mhm.
My question for you is: do you ever? How do I word this? Do you, like, I have a big issue with, like, man, I know all what I'm doing is providing for them, putting food on the table, making money to make sure they can train and all this, and
Mhm.
chase what they want to do, give them the discipline and all that, and they see me providing for them.
Mhm.
But there comes a point where it's like, yeah, but you need to be there too. You know,
Yeah, I
you
know
know what I
exactly
mean?
what you mean. Yeah,
Because I don't want to be one of those,
I know what you
you
mean.
know, because my dad was there a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
he obviously worked, but he was home every night,
Mhm.
except for the couple months I think he was training.
Mhm.
He was gone. We didn't see him, but
Mhm.
that was over with pretty quick.
Yeah.
In long hindsight. Uh, but I don't, especially now that they're young.
Yeah.
I don't want them to say, "Oh, well, Dad was
Yeah. I,
not there," because I work, long hours,
yeah.
and you know, either it's when I've got time in the fall, it's dark early,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it's those kinds of things,
I know what you mean.
and it bothers me. It bothers me a lot.
I
But
think any good father will bother. Just to be honest, any good father that will bother. If you didn't care, then I don't think that's a problem. If you didn't care,
yeah,
I think I've dealt with that. I'm blessed, thank God, that I'm able. I can make my own hours for the most part, so I haven't missed much of Elijah. But I know it's gonna come a time, and it has been times, very minimal, but it has been times, and I know there's gonna be times in the future where Dad may not can't make this, can't make that. But that's why I think the most important part of that is make sure when of course I'm his father, but I try to have the closest relationship I have. Like I want him to always be able to express himself. If he's not feeling something, even something he don't like that I'm doing, it's all about respect. Dad, I don't like the shit you're doing. Don't say it like that, you
yeah,
know. But like, Dad, I don't like how you doing this and that. So I want him to always express himself. But me and him could develop this relationship where we talk about everything. So times where I have to sacrifice, son, I got to do this for this reason. You know why, right? If I wasn't able to do this, you wouldn't even have this opportunity to do this. So I gotta go do this. But you know, yeah, and it's crazy. Me and my son, we do this every time, every fight I have. I sacrifice it. Fighting is a selfish sport.
mm,
Um, Selfish sport. So any woman that's with a man that's been with him and he's fighting supports you. You a troop. But for the kids' sake, so it's times where training, sleeping. You gotta sleep. You gotta rest. But a lot of it goes into when you're preparing for a fight, especially for me. Like I told you, where I go when I'm trying to fight, mentally where I go. So I
yeah,
got to make sure I'm at the top of my top. So a lot of times my son, man, he might not be able to do those go outside as much. Dad is not doing as much with him because
mm,
dad is exhausted or in there grinding. So after my fight, I make sure I take a little bit of time. Like I normally take a week off.
yeah,
That week off is just me resting and getting away from people. I don't like people that much. You know, I love people, but it gets to a limit to where I gotta get away.
It's overwhelming.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
So let me get that loud, but yeah, so much. But so I get away, and I don't ever spend the time with him. We'll go do something, just me and him. You know, and it's just like our. It's almost like a. And I always tell him, man, thank you, man, for hanging in there with me.
Yeah.
You know, I know this is tough on you, and you might not get to do everything you want to do at that moment when I'm training for a fight, but I appreciate you, son. And you know why I'm doing this? Yeah, you're doing it for us, Dad. You're doing it for me. You're doing it for us. Makes you long as they understand why I think, because we got to, you know. The world ain't gonna stop just because we, you know. So as long as we explain it to them, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when that dream comes true that we've been working on, then we'll be able to. And hopefully, they're not gray and old by then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: when you were younger, you said your dad was around a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, what sports did you play when you were younger?
Pee Wee football and
You was a hell man. You got an arm on you, by the way. Yeah. So you played Pee Wee football. What else?
high school football.
Okay.
Or junior,
Did he
you know
coach?
what I mean,
He was
seventh
at all
grade.
your games and practices and stuff like that.
Yeah. He coached our Pee Wee game teams.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that
bro,
was.
that's cool. So look at that. Yeah.
Was it? I can't remember his fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I wanted to be quarterback. You know, and he
You got an
threw
arm
the
on.
ball with me.
Yeah.
And I can remember times where he would just walk off because I could not get it to him. You know, I'd throw it, you know, aiming at you, I'd throw it way over here,
Yeah.
you know. But that made me want to get better, so
Yeah.
he'd stay out and play.
Yeah.
You know,
Then you just walk off.
yeah, he'd just shake his head and walk off. Or, you know, he'd make me go get it a few times.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'd just be like,
I'm just trying to picture that.
yeah. You know, but when I was a kid, it was, you know, it sucked. But
Yeah.
now I definitely understand, you know, and I guess it made me a better thrower. You know, I
Yeah.
could throw better.
Yeah.
But when we first started playing fourth grade, I wanted to be quarterback.
Did y'all play tackle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, full year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I played left tackle
Okay.
on an offensive line. I can't remember what it was on defense.
Yeah.
I think fifth grade was probably I was still on the line. I can't remember sixth grade too much, but seventh grade, you know, we were homeschooled fourth, fifth, and sixth, so
Okay.
it was a Glenwood Pee Wee league.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 4 teams, and we kind of just all played each other.
Yeah.
And for going into junior high or seventh grade, you had to be at a school. So we decided to go to Caddo, and our parents decided to take us to Caddo, and that's where I got my first real experience of I mean we were weight training and everything. We started. I want to say it was before school started, but end of July, beginning of August, something like that. We were in there in the gym, met the coaches. Dad made sure I was the first one there, and he was talking to him about being quarterback and all that. And then we tried out, and sure enough, I was become quarterback. Funny, one of my good friends now, he was mad at me. We're friends now. He didn't like me in seventh grade because I took his position.
Bro, so you were the starting quarterback.
I was starting quarterback, yeah.
Man, what number were you?
11.
11.
Yeah.
That's a quarterback number.
Yeah, and then I talk about it, and it's funny because I never wanted to be one of those guys that was like going back to their high school as your glory years.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I know what you mean.
Because it's not, but it was the best time I had playing football. It was the only time I had playing football.
Yeah.
So, seventh grade, broke my hand, broke my leg.
Dang.
Didn't play eighth grade, and then played ninth grade, and we had a winning season, and then
Really?
they cut our team.
I think, yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so I didn't get to play high school football.
So how did the season go? I know you say you had a winning season. How did you do at quarterback?
I think I did pretty good.
Like you threw touchdown
Yeah,
passes?
I had a concussion once, and in Bismarck, and they put, which of course, Caddo is a small school, and our whole line weighed like 300 pounds
Damn.
together. I mean, I was running every time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, not staying in the pocket is what I mean.
Yeah.
I was throwing or handing it off.
Yeah.
I was never staying there. Yeah.
You throw any touchdown passes?
Oh yeah, quite a few of
Really?
those. Yeah.
That's what's up.
There's one in particular I remember, and it was ninth grade year.
Yeah.
We were at Center Point, and I mean, I had one guy, and I knew before we even started the play, I knew I was throwing to him.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just knew it. He was running a post route,
Okay.
and it's crazy because I can still see it. I mean, like I'm there today. Uh, Step back, I have my pattern. Step back 3 steps. This is the first year in shotgun too.
Okay.
So I just step back 3 steps, see him make the cut, and I throw the ball. And as soon as I throw that ball, like, I mean, it's so slow motion. I just see that ball spiraling.
Yeah.
I'm like, see it past my head, see it spiraling, and then I see his hands go up. He catches it, and it's back to normal speed, and just takes off to the end zone.
Boom. Where did you do that? How did you...
I can't remember how I celebrated, but I was like, dude, that was crazy. And then I played baseball after they cut our team, and I wasn't any good at that. The only way I got on base was get hit.
That's when I played. That's how I would. Now I would get home. I was fast, but I had to get. Sometimes I was like, man, let me lean into this.
Yeah.
Take this hit.
Yeah. Oh, I did that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only way. And I never got past second base, so I don't know why I was ever taking the hits.
Yeah. I hit one base. I mean, I had one base hit the whole season. The team went crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. We was at the end, like the last game. I got a base hit. Last game, got my first base hit. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, yeah, that was, and I did high jump in track.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Good
is
until.
that the one on the sand? And you run and guys?
No, that's long jump. High jump was, it's kind of like pole vaulting without the pole. You ran up to it.
Okay.
At an angle, and then you jumped and went over.
Oh, okay.
Backwards. And I was out there and I was doing good. I was like 2 or 3 guys, and I can't remember what the height was now, but I got to where I was like, all right, now I'm going to have to start trying.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other people showed up. They were waiting for a certain height before they started jumping.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think one guy got up to, I don't even know, he was like 6'2". I was like, dude, he just jumped over my head. There ain't no way I could have done that.
Man, how tall were you at that time?
I mean, I was 5'11".
Okay, that's tall.
Yeah.
How much you weigh? Were you heavy? Or?
No, I was about 165.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you said they were just waiting. Dang.
Yeah, I thought I was winning.
So how did you do overall?
Oh, I come in last place.
Okay.
I didn't place, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, high jump's not my sport.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Some sprints and all that, but I just wasn't really interested. The only thing I was interested in was football, and that was kind of where place takers, and I just never really.
Man, you never know what you like till you try it all.
Yeah.
So, like, trial and error. Yeah,
well,
man. What's new for you?
Started mowing again.
Start mowing again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't you got allergies?
Not this year, funny
Really?
enough. Yeah.
Probably immune to it at this point.
You think last year was my worst year?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't spoke too soon, probably, but I've been trying this. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's a nasal spray. You do it in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I get that to my son sometimes.
Man,
good. Yeah.
Works miracles.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I gotta take it sometimes. Actually, my allergies suck. Yeah.
So, but all right, we're going on 45 minutes, Chauncey.
Okay.
So.
People's attention span. So we can.
Yeah. Thanks, TikTok.
Right.
We've got shortest attention span now.
I know. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Chauncey.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Anytime.
Yeah. You got anything else to say before we get off? I mean.
Anything else I need to say? No, just I will say the people that have supported me from the beginning of my career when I was amateur all the way up to now, thank you. Anyone that is supporting now currently, thank you. I appreciate it. Even though I'm getting in that cage by myself fighting, it takes a team to get me to where as far as I've gotten. So thank you. God bless you, and I wish everybody the best. Yeah. And thank you, Zach. Number love, my brother.
Oh yeah. Hey, real quick before we get off here, you got a fight coming up?
I don't, but I'm staying ready.
Okay.
For whatever.
All right.
UFC, holla at me.
That's
being
right.
scared.
That's right. Give Chauncey a call, man.
Yeah, just
Give him a chance.
Yeah, see what happens.
Take
Appreciate
on
you,
your
Jay.
toughest opponent.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Chauncey.
Thank you, man.